The legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
When it comes to naked celebrities, Mr. Skin knows all and shows all.
Coming to you live from the Skindy City. I am Jimmy Failla, welcoming you to another skin-tastic episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. You can find all things Mr. Skin Podcast at our safe-for-work site, MrSkinPodcast.com, including links to subscribe via iTunes, Android, and SoundCloud. If you like the show, give us a good rating so we can help get other people tuned in and turned on. And if you want to ask Mr. Skin a question, blow a call into the Skin line at 304-TALK-SKIN. And leave us a damn message, would you? And as always, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at MrSkin.com. And without further ado, let's fast forward to the good parts with the man himself, Mr. Skin. How you doing, Mr. Skin?
Doing great, Jimmy. How are you?
Great. And also joining us worldwide from Skin headquarters in Los Angeles, the great Andrea Lowell. All rise.
Hey, everyone.
For the honorable Andrea Lowell. How you doing, champ?
I am well. I think that may be the first time I've ever been called honorable, and I'll take it.
She's honorable.
Freeze that recording. You know what it is? I'm trying to find everybody's like byline because I was covering the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia last week.
Oh yeah, I got to hit. There had to be some crazy observations from.
This
that.
is what I'm disappointed in. This is exactly what I went there, obviously to cover it, but as a perverted loser guy that I am, I wanted to see if there were like groupies, like hanging out at the bar scene, trying to meet politicians, stuff like that. You know, like there would be at like an NBA game, like hanging outside the team hotel.
Oh, yeah.
There's no groupies.
Wait, what?
Like, yeah, it killed all my ambition. I'm like, what's the point of going into politics, putting in all that time, if the only thing you're going to do is kiss babies?
You know what? Maybe it's just like under wraps because we all know Clinton, when he was president, he had a harem of hoes.
Oh, that's what it is. You know
Yeah,
what?
you're probably just not going to see it with, with all the phones and the social media. You're not going to see politicians working babes at the bar. I doubt it.
I think
right?
what we're all politely trying to say is the word hookers.
Hookers, yes.
Yes, that's what it was. Not a lot of groupies, but a lot of fun people and a lot of hard drinking people. So they would fit in well on the Skincast. So I should shout out all the members of both conventions and voters of both parties, of course, because we're an all-inclusive here at the Mr. Skin Podcast.
You know it.
We welcome everybody. If you're perverted,
Jimmy,
you're with us.
Also, I wanted to ask you, how did your taping of the pilot go?
The Skin Man. Hold on. Well, here's the.
No, I want you to promote it, but I want to hear. I haven't talked to you in a
for
week.
those of you who don't know, I'm shooting a sports pilot for two of the local sports networks here in New York City. We're 2 days of shooting in, Skin Man. Happy to report that the shoots have gone well. Sad to report that we're not going to make any of your nudity compilations.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, any nip slips I should know about?
My pasties stayed on for both tapings. I'm happy to report. But the final day of shooting is this Wednesday at the Guggenheim Museum in New York City.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's historic because when are you going to hear a guy with my accent performing in the Guggenheim Museum ever again?
Very valid point.
Right.
Up here, we got a really nice sculpture for you guys. You guys should check it out. Yeah, do it. Check it out. And I have to remind you, we're 3 episodes into our plan for world domination, 47,000 downloads so far. That sound you hear is an audience applauding for Andrea, myself, and Skin, of course. For those of you listening, we cannot thank you enough, and we cannot implore you enough to give us a rating in iTunes. It's very helpful to us. It's kind of like the podcast Yelp, right?
Oh, yeah.
So go Yelp us in iTunes is what I'm trying to say. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, welcome to the show. We got a lot to do today, Skin Man. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah,
up for it?
I'm actually a little nervous because as I was preparing for today's show, there's just so much nudity to get to. It was an incredible week, not only for television, but also for new release Blu-ray DVDs. Not to mention I have nudity nuggets I have to get to, and I'm just worried we're not going to be able to fit this all.
Nudity nuggets, is that new McDonald's product? Is that a 6-piece or a 10-piece?
Yeah, it's a 6.5 piece.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, yeah, but it really is. There's a ton of stuff, and I guess I should just get going. I wanted to talk a little about what came out over the weekend. And by the way, part of the reason I have so much is last week I did the Emmy I did my Emmy rundown, so I didn't get to talk a lot of television. So I have a little backlog, if you will. But let me start just real quickly with some of the stuff that came out in theaters. That Jason Bourne movie was the big movie with Matt Damon over the weekend. It did about 60 million in revenues, and it's PG-13, so nothing nude-worthy. But I wanted to point out the female lead in that is Alicia Vikander, winning Best Supporting Actress, Danish Girl, and she is also the girl in she was nude in Danish Girl briefly, but really a phenomenal nude scene in Ex Machina, that full frontal, that sci-fi flick that so many people liked last year. It was one of the best nude scenes of 2015.
Oh, totally.
And if you went and saw Jason Bourne and thought, God, who's the hot female lead in this? Who's that hot girl? Her name's Alicia Vikander, and her career is exploding, and you will too if you see her in Ex Machina.
Oh,
it's fantastic.
The video that we're showing on Mr. Skin Podcast.com is from that movie. It's where she's checking herself out in the mirror. And this looks like several videos I've shot through hotel room keyholes. I've got to be honest. I feel like I'm back in the courtroom again. This is giving me flashbacks. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well,
it's
good. And I wanted everyone to know because she's going to be big. This obviously is the big movie out there. Also, did you guys see that movie Bad Moms hit theaters this weekend? It did about $24 million, the second big movie. And it's from the guys that brought you the Hangover movies. And it's R-rated. There was nudity. A girl who plays an online chat girl you never heard of, Leah McKendrick was her name, was nude. But I did want to point out that the three main bad moms in the movie are Mila Kunis, Kathryn Hahn, and Kristen Bell. And I just want to really quickly nudity rundown. I would have to say of any girl at MrSkin.com that has yet to do a nude scene, right up at the top, it'd have to be Mila Kunis as far as requests and people that guys really want to see do a nude scene. And if you're out there thinking, Skin, I saw her nude in Friends with Benefits in 2011 with Justin Timberlake. It was an obvious body double. We point that out at the website. She gets into bed nude. You see butt, but it was a body double. Unfortunately, you do see Justin Timberlake's butt in the scene, but not Mila Kunis.
Speak for yourself, sailor.
Well, I'm sure a lot of guys are happy about that, but that was not her. And then in the great movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall from 2008 with Jason Segel, there's the scene where he's in the urinal and he looks up at the wall and all these girls are flashing boobage, and they had Mila Kunis's character flashing boobs, but that was totally photoshopped. It wasn't her. So she's still Ofer, and we're waiting for her first career nude scene.
Yeah,
but
I think we've been duped. What's up with her and the body double?
Well, one of the things that we do really well at our website, MrSkin.com, is when we always feel that if you're going to enjoy a nude scene, that you have to make sure you know who it is, because if you don't, what fun is that? And she did do that great lesbo scene in Black Swan, which, though it wasn't nude, was really hot.
Very
but
sexy.
Very important when you're enjoying a nude scene to know if it's the actress or a body double, and we always point that stuff out. But I have good news on the other two bad moms real quick. Kristen Bell, who just ended a 5-year run on House of Lies on Showtime, a show I really dig. She did a movie called The Lifeguard, and I don't know how many people have seen this movie. Another reason it's important for me to be working in the trenches to find this stuff for you, because she actually has this really hot sex scene with a guy in a bathroom. It's on a sink, and he's banging her, and it's pretty hot. You see some butt. So you can see Kristen Bell briefly nude in The Lifeguard from 2013.
Cool.
And finally go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, cool, because I only see glimpses of her body.
Yeah, she's been a little skingy, but this Lifeguard, I think people would be really happy. And finally, Kathryn Hahn, the third bad mom, she is really a kind of a, I wouldn't call her like a
she's no classic beauty.
Supermodel,
right?
No, but she's got an incredible body, great breasts, and you remember that HBO show Hung with Thomas Jane, where he was a male prostitute?
Oh yeah,
they had a scene where her character was pregnant. It was a prosthetic; it really wasn't her, but they were like spooning in bed, and you got a great shot of her topless, and that was a surprising scene because what was she on Crossing Jordan for all those years? She played Lily from 2001 2007, so it was kind of surprising surprising to see her nude. But anyway, that's a little update on what came out this weekend in theaters. And Bad Moms did have nudity, but I thought it'd be important to kind of update you guys on the three main Bad Moms.
Just to let them know that there's something in it for the dads, too.
Well,
it's not just a mom's night out film. I've heard a lot of moms organizing nights out about this, but the dads can go too.
Yeah,
no question. But then I also, there's just so much TV stuff to get to from last week and this week. But I just wanted to just touch on some of the highlights because, like I said, just so much TV nudity to kind of keep track of here. So first, I wanted to mention a show called Outcast, which is a horror drama on Cinemax. It airs Friday nights, and is it Patrick Fugit is the star of it, and he's trying to, the basic premise here is he's trying to get to the truth about some unexplained events in his hometown, and the show is very dark, but on the bright side, there's been some real nice nudity, like a girl named Caitlin Shield last Friday in a sex scene with Patrick Fugit. And you might remember her. She was in that great lesbian scene on House of Cards with Rachel Brosnan that that will go down as one of the best TV lesbian scenes and a really cool one. And real nice nudity. So Outcast is a Cinemax show that we track here at MrSkin.com, and they had a real nice nude scene last week.
You know what I noticed about her boobs, Mr. Skin, and I'm loving it? She has a little freckle on her boob, and it reminds me of Penelope Cruz, how she also has that freckle on her boob.
Yes.
And ever since Vanilla Sky, I've had this obsession with nice, perky boobs with either a mole or a freckle. There's something so hot to me about it, and I don't know what it is.
I see a playlist in my future.
I don't know.
I see a playlist.
But I'm like,
you're a sucker for a freckle boob, huh?
Maddie D, Moly Breasts playlist. Please make a note of that.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm partial towards every type of boob except man.
Yeah, Andrea, you'll love Chloe Sevigny his freckle boobs too. You'll like that. Like, and not like Lindsay Lohan, ton of freckle. I'm talking about you have one or two little, that moles or freckles that kind of stand out and on the
skin. Yeah, it's
yes,
a beauty part
yes.
of the boob.
Yes, really
part.
nice.
I love it. There's something about it I super love. So thank you for highlighting this gorgeous girl, Caitlin Shield.
Do you remember?
Do
you remember at the beginning of the show when I said I'm trying to find everyone's political slogan?
Yeah,
I think we just found Andrea's. Make America freckle boobed again.
Well, we could do it. We could do it, and actually, that is literally like we have thousands of playlists at our site of different fetishes and different celebrity things that have happened in the history. It could be like nude with balloons, or nude, completely full frontal on a balcony, or nude with scarves. But I think freckle. I don't think we have freckly boobs, and we are on it. So thank you, Andrew.
He's activated. The missile silos are opening in Mr. Skin headquarters right now.
Yeah. They'll be hard at work in the Mr. Skin content department after this show.
They're sliding down a fire pole and running to their laptops.
Hey, there's a show that I love, and I didn't start watching it that had anything to do with nudity. But have either of you caught this Night Of on HBO? It's on Sunday nights, and it's about this American Muslim kid who hooks up with a strange girl, and he drinks, and he's not a partier. It's like his first alcohol, and he does some drugs, and they have sex, and he's not a guy that had sex many times in his life. When he wakes up in the morning, she's dead. And it's, oh my God. And he gets he's in jail, and it's all about leading up to his trial. And it is a fantastic show. And really, if you watch that first episode, you'll be hooked on the show.
Okay.
But they're 4 episodes in now, and it's always great for me when I'm a big fan of a show like the first season of True Detective, and then all of a sudden you had all that great nudity.
Right.
This is another one. I'd like a little pleasant surprise. The first 2 episodes were no nudity, but I was still watching it every Sunday night. And then they threw in a nice nude scene in episode 3. Michael Kenneth Williams has been they introduced him in the 3rd episode, and he's in prison. He had sex with a prison guard, a woman, Alicia Campbell.
Well, that's a bonus.
Yes, but it was a very, very hot scene. And then in Sunday night's episode, Raquel Bailey had a nude scene walking to the bathroom after a sex scene with John Totoro. So I highly recommend the show. But they've started to add a little nudity, which is really nice for me when I get a show I love and nudity. It's awesome. So
Yeah, and that is a woman. I love her body. She's got the hips. She's got the tits. I mean, she's my kind of girl I like to have in bed.
yeah, they're some really beautiful women so far getting naked on Night Of. But check it out on Sunday nights. What I would say is watch the first episode, and if you're not hooked, I don't know.
Something's
I
wrong
can't
with
help
you.
out. Yeah, something's wrong because it was the tension watching that was unbelievable what happened in episode
Yeah, and it's like
1.
a
But
guy has sex with a girl, and guy has sex with a girl. He wakes up, she's dead.
Hey,
We've all been there.
you wake up. Yeah, we've all been there, right?
It
Now,
could have been
she,
any of us.
And it's only I think it's a 10 episodes, I believe, where it's just like a one-off. They're just doing 10 episodes and the show's done. So anyway, highly recommend that. Check it out, Night Of. Also, Power, I've talked to you guys a little about this. This is a Sunday Night Stars show, and the last 2 episodes, Layla Lauren, who plays a federal agent, is the girl, if you watch the show, who's sleeping with Omari Hardwick. She is gorgeous, and I think she had her best nude scene to date last Sunday, and then this Sunday, this Sheena Sakai, prostitute, making a visit, had a really funny, well, I shouldn't say funny, had a loud nude scene, and this show is pretty cool and really starting to become a reliable source of skin for our website. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Sundays on Stars.
Yeah, let me just say this. This, in terms of like TV nudity, is really out there. The Sheena Sakai scene where she's getting a doggy style and grabbing her and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's straight pornography. It's fantastic.
I know it's
like I feel like they should be playing the American. They should be playing the American anthem under this, or like America the Beautiful. I mean, this is why you come to America.
They always seem to incorporate a little blow into some of the, so she got the blowout for the scene, the little coke, and it is her first. This is big, when an actress makes her first appearance on MrSkin.com. Sheena Sakai. First appearance on MrSkin.com, so that's always a big moment. So
I want to ask you about Layla Lauren. You and I always go back and forth. Are the boobs real? Are the boobs fake? But I have a sneaking suspicion Layla's ass is fake.
Whoa!
I don't.
Those
give
are
me
big
some
charges.
reason.
Hold on.
Those are big charges. I know. So I want to maybe know if maybe the homework for you and your team over the next month is to maybe do some comparisons of her butt previously, and that shot of her in the show Power on episode 2 when she's on her side, the projection of her booty is not natural in my professional opinion.
Andrea, do you know girls in real life that have done butt? And what exactly do you explain butt work? And
all right,
Jimmy, not you. Explain butt work,
there's
Andrea.
several different types of butt procedures one can get. You can get a lift where it's literally like kind of a tummy tuck, but for the butt, where they just lift the booty. You can get a butt implant. You can get a fat transfer where they'll do liposuction on, say, your muffin top and then put the fat into the butt. But what I'm looking at is the projection of Layla's butt. And to me, laying sideways like that, it's not anatomically correct projection unless she is just extremely genetically blessed. But that to me looks like a butt implant or a S-curve Brazilian butt lift procedure.
I pride myself on this stuff, and I got to say, I'm pretty naive when it comes to butt implants. I cannot recall.
It looks like a butt implant to me because I can see her hip bone, and then if you're that lean, because I'm also a personal trainer. If you're that lean, it's really weird to have the muscle project out that far, not attached to the hip joint. So I'm just my senses are getting tingled right now.
All right. Well, we'll do some careful analysis at the Mr. Skin Labs and get back to you on that, because that would be breaking nudes. We'd have to be all over that.
I hope I'm wrong, because I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's just a grade A ass.
Well, we have a thing at our website. We if an actress has fake boobs, we point it out as, because we think there's people that want to search real or fake or whatever.
Totally.
We do not have a category for fake onion.
Oh, it's coming.
I'd have to get on
it. It is
that.
coming
Oh
because
my God.
it's a big thing now. It's very prevalent.
I know several girls in real life, not just people I know on social media, girls I know that have had this done, several. So I wouldn't be shocked to see a A-list celebrity getting it done as well.
Jimmy, you think the celebrity nudity business is all beer and Skittles? It's tough. This is not easy. Yeah. By the way, one last thing on Power that is pretty cool is in the old days, and I'm talking the 70s or 80s, if you had a white woman and a black man in bed, it would be a big deal.
Yeah.
Like it would be in the news. It was, it was very rare.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the cool thing about all these shows and everything that's been going on is a interracial scene is viewed as like, hey, just a guy and a girl in bed, which is a great thing. I will say that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's real. That's real progress.
Yeah. So anyway, well, let me move on because there's a lot more TV stuff to get to. One of the things that I was pretty excited about, because I'm a big Danny McBride fan. I used to love Eastbound and Down. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a great show.
He has a new show called Vice Principals. It's a funny new HBO comedy. It's Sunday nights. I think it's 10:30 Eastern. I know people are listening from all over. I think here where I live in Chicago, it airs at 9:30. But there are 3 episodes in, right? So the first 2 episodes, we're almost panicking at the Mr. Skin offices because 2 episodes of a Danny McBride funny, pretty dirty show and no nudity. So we're getting panicked. Well, last night, in their 3rd episode, or Sunday night in their 3rd episode, they actually had a pretty funny scene. Their class was on a field trip, and this Dorothy Reynolds, who we looked into, she's not a big name actress, don't know too much about her, but she snuck away with her classmate, and they started hooking up in a gym, and Danny McBride and this other guy find them, and it was a pretty funny scene. But right before they kind of broke in on him, this guy, and you could probably see in the pictures, guys, where her breasts were pressed up against glass, and we call that pressed mams at MrSkin.com. We actually even do, when I do my Anatomy Awards next February, this has a great chance to win our best pressed mams. It's a great category we do. And just a quick note on that: last year in the Anatomy Awards, we had our first ever double pressed ham, which had never happened, where 2 girls at the same time press ham against a window, and it was from a movie called Knock Knock, and it was Lorenza Izza and Anna Diarnas did it, and that was in the history of MrSkin.com our first ever double pressed ham.
Whoa! What's ham? Is that pussy? Is that ass?
No,
Yeah, I'm confused. Hold on.
I'm like, is that a sandwich?
I'm sorry.
'Cause,
I know.
No, I'm sorry. I should have been more clear.
A burger?
Yeah, so it is butt. Butt is ham.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
when you press ham against a window, that's pressed ham, and pressed mams are breasts.
Again,
so yes, and
this vice principal scene reminds me of a classic from my youth. Do you remember the pressed mams in Kentucky Fried Movie?
oh my God, and you know who that was? Ushi Degard.
Of course you know who it was.
Yeah, well, let me just say that all pressed mams answer to Ushi Degard in Kentucky Fried Movie. So.
It's so funny. You don't know who you're messing with, man.
Oh yeah, she is one of my all-time favorites. So yes, I know all about Ushi Degard.
The trailer. It's the trailer for Catholic High School Girls in Trouble.
Yep.
I was a little kid. That's a seminal moment from my childhood, right there. You took me back, Skin.
Yeah.
You took me back.
No, these are important moments and things. Hopefully, fans of this podcast will start to learn all these great names, because we're always going to go back. We're going to talk about the new stuff, but there's so many great things from the history of nudity in movies and television that I want to be able to get to in this podcast. And that, I'm so glad you brought that up. So thank you. Maybe I'll do a pressed, my best pressed mams, but I'd be telling you in advance that's number one, because like I said, I'll answer to that. So
all right.
Yeah. Now I know, Andrea, you're a Ray Donovan fan.
You know it.
There's been a lot of nudity on Showtime's Ray Donovan over the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, all of it's been depressing as hell. And I have a dilemma here that I'm going to have to work out with you guys about this, because so over the last 2 weeks, now they're in their 4th season, their 5th and 6th episode I'm bringing up here, and like last week in their 5th episode, Paula Malcolmson was at the doctor being examined for breast cancer, right? And then Ray's, that was Ray's wife, and then Ray had a dream this weekend where he sees Sonia Embeth topless, but she has a mastectomy scar, and her other breast was a prosthetic, and it's like, and I always have trouble, celebrating these doctor office nude scenes because, you're enjoying an actress nude, and next thing you know, it's in a doctor's office or cancer, and it's been a big dilemma for me, but. And one of the biggest dilemmas I ever had, and when I say big, when you guys see this, you'll agree that this is pretty incredible. But the greatest and most famous doctor office examination nude scene happened in a 1994 made-for-TV movie called My Breast, and it's one of those movies that aired on like the Lifetime network, and just by happenstance, they always. Many of the showings of this, they didn't show the nudity, but it was Meredith Baxter, who you guys would remember as Michael J. Fox's mom on Family Ties.
Oh, yeah.
Remember her?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Who knew what mega breasts she had? And I got to tell you, I'm hopeful Maddie D, our executive producer, could pull that up, and we'll definitely, for the MrSkinPodcast.com, if you want to see the links to everything we're talking about, we'll get it up for you guys. And it's a struggle because she's in the doctor's office being examined. I get it. It's wrong. But she is an actor. She was acting, so she didn't really have any illness. But I got to say, I still struggle with that. And I don't know how you guys feel.
Okay.
But it's one of my big dilemmas.
You know what? I was struggling with this internally last night myself as I was watching, Ray Donovan. As sick as this sounds, I got a little turned on.
Oh, there we go.
When she's getting her breast palpitated, because I know what that feels like, and it's actually very soft and sensual. And when you have a woman's soft fingers lightly pushing on your boobs, because when you're getting a breast exam, they're not squeezing you. It's very soft and kind of sexy. Maybe it's just my sick, twisted mind, but I'm not going to lie. I got a little turned on during Ray Donovan. So don't feel guilt about Meredith Baxter's huge, luscious boob.
It was very confusing for me. I was a much younger man back in 1994, but I was like, on one hand, I get it. I mean, believe me, I'm all about, breast cancer awareness. I get it. I'm not naive to the seriousness of it. But then at the same time, it's Meredith Baxter's like whole boob comes out, and it's unbelievably like surprising.
It's amazing.
It's like you're in turmoil. You don't know how to handle it.
It's almost distracting because it makes you want to go back and rewatch that whole series from the 80s, and kind of start it because you didn't know that was lurking the whole time.
Well, she was always wearing those big denim shirts and sweaters, and you never knew that she had like double D natural boobs.
Think about like the trajectory of how that changes your opinion of something. Like imagine you knew Mr. Rogers had like a 13-inch, dong.
It would change everything.
It changes your perception of the show. Yeah, if you find out Mr. Rogers had a side job as a speed bump, you go back and want to know.
If you'd see him in his, like standing there in his sweater and his Hanes, you'd try to be looking for package, like his package if he's going to the left or the right.
You rewatch the whole show.
Yeah. You know what? All right, now that I've told you that Meredith Baxter has the most incredibly great breasts, now when you watch old Family Ties, be on the lookout. But I got to warn you, it's not like she was walking around in a bikini in that show. She was so like bundled up that's why it was so shocking in 1994 after the show had ended when I saw that. So anyway, Ray Donovan is causing the same thing. Their last 2 weeks of nudity has been a little rough. So.
Yeah, but my point is, as a female, I'm telling everyone, don't feel guilty if you get turned on by seeing some medical titty. Because you know what? A boob's a boob, and if it's a hot boob, it's a hot boob. And I thought...
And they're just acting.
Yeah, and it's acting. And I thought it was super hot. And I love the color of Paula Malcolmson's areola. It's so pale. It's so pretty.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll make a note of that.
Just a little tidbit. Yeah.
Okay. No, very good. Hey, a couple other things. Ballers, Season 2, Episode 3, Sunday night on HBO. We got a lot of emails this morning. Who was that hot girl with Troy Garrity?
Yeah.
While he was sitting on the bed making a phone call. Her name's Michelle Pirouet. And by the way, IDing these girls is not easy. She's a Canadian model. They're not always really clear in the credits who's who, but I got to say, my crack staff, I'm very proud. Michelle Pirouet was the girl last night on Sunday night on Ballers. So
she's very hot.
And I'll say this, Yeah, pretty much all the girls who get naked on Dwayne The Rock Johnson's show are model quality. And we just got word last week that Ballers was renewed for a third season, so we're happy about that. Good for business here.
I'm into bigger women, so I'm hoping for a show called Butter Ballers. I want to see the chicks on Butter Ballers. Those are fun women there.
I'm with you, man. I'm a BBW guy. I love it. So, hey, one last thing, too. That show Preacher, which did their season finale this weekend, Sunday night on FX. It's a 10-episode first season. Pretty interesting seeing this. Jodie Lynn Thomas is trying to figure out the controls of a methane reactor wearing an S&M outfit and an incredible thong. And our guys in the back in the content department really wanted me to see this the next morning because it was so hot. And I will tell you that this will be the hottest scene with a methane reactor this year in 2016.
Is that a category?
It's just a weird scene you got to see because she's this gorgeous girl in an S&M outfit with a thong, and she's working a methane reactor. So must-see television this weekend on FX called Preacher.
It's not even a thong, though. It's like an assless chap version of fishnet stockings. I mean, it is hot as hell. It's definitely something you would only wear in the bedroom. There's no functional purpose of this bad boy. It's fucking hot.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's just crazy. So I just want to make sure you see that. And again, if you go to the MrSkinPodcast.com, you can see the links to all this stuff because, like I said, what fun is nudity if you can't see it? So anyway, hey, I had some that was some television stuff. I have nudity nuggets for you guys that have been kind of big news at the Mr. Skin offices this week. Okay. One is Ellen Page. Do you know her from the movie Juno?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, from 2007. She became popular after the movie Juno. Well, last Friday, this was a rare day here at Mr. Skin offices. She had never done a nude. She had a really brief nude scene where you could barely see anything. But then last Friday, she has 2 movies come out on VOD the exact same day. So we didn't even know what to do with ourselves. It was like Ellen Page Day here at the offices. So she had a movie called Tallulah, which was a Sundance movie where we knew we were topless, but had no idea when we'd ever get to see it because my Skin Scouts were at the Sundance Film Fest, reported it. But then, with some of these movies, sometimes they never even make it to theaters or it takes a long time before you ever see it. Well, Netflix bought the rights to Tallulah, and boom, Netflix just put it out Friday. On the same day, a movie called Into the Forest was released in limited release in theaters. And they did a lot of it's happening more and more now where you'll release something in theaters and simultaneously put it out VOD. Now, they do that, with these limited release, not big Hollywood blockbusters, of course. And luckily, she had, a nude scene in that. And by the way, Ellen Page, it's like when Molly Ringwald surprised me with her breasts. I had no idea Ellen Page had that good of boobs. I hope you guys could see them because they're really great.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at him in action.
These 2 shots too are actually pretty hot sex scenes. Like in the sense that
really good. I would say like we're I talked to you guys about my favorite nude scenes of the year in one of the episodes, and this will definitely be in consideration for a year-end best nude scene.
Can I jump in on this? Isn't Ellen Page? Is Ellen Page a lesbian? Isn't she a lesbian in real life?
I have no idea.
She is
a real life lesbian.
Yeah, she is, and she's correct. Really this really speaks to that. There are guys out there that don't think women can fake it or whatever. If she's a lesbian, she's faking this, and it's fake.
Well, Juno loves Puno.
Any guy that's in denial like that. Women are expert fakers. We learn from the get how to fake it because we don't even know how to have one at the beginning. So we go like a decade just faking it. So we are compelling. I know when I did my first few sex scenes, a lot of stuff never even, got to air, to movies, to whatever, but I've shot a bunch. I was blown away at my own acting ability to the fact that I didn't want my boyfriend at the time to see it ever because he was going to know how good I was at faking it. So trust me, guys, if you're in denial, don't be. Just learn where the G-spot is. But yeah, Ellen Page's boobs are great if you like those little handfuls of heaven. They're not big, but they're perky, and her nipples are tiny, and her areola are tiny, just like she is. Small package.
The beauty of Andrea is you don't even have to go to MrSkinPodcast.com to see the pic. She paints such a beautiful picture. You could be driving and just
You really do.
and really feel like you know the breast.
People listening to this
great.
are driving off the road right now.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Our podcast
into a truck stop.
Our
for
podcast
15.
is the new Pokemon Go. Causing car accidents all over
Pokemon
America.
Grow.
Yeah.
Hey, also another nudity nugget that's been big here. I haven't been able to get to because of the Emmy podcast and everything else. Is this? You guys know about this Wonder Woman movie that'll be out June of next year, 2017. This Gal Gadot, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's going to play Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, and she's an Israeli model, beautiful, and she's never been nude. I do recommend, though, if you want to see how hot this girl is, check her out on our website. She did a movie called Fast Five in 2011, one of the Furious Five type movies, and she was in a bikini and walking away, and you see her from the front and then from behind. Wow. Models, I always say it's an unfair advantage when models are in movies because they're just so stunningly gorgeous, and she is. Well, she's going to play Wonder Woman, and they released within the last couple of weeks the first trailer for Wonder Woman, so everyone's buzzing. This is a big deal. It's been a long time since anyone's even come close to, Linda Carter, who was the original Wonder Woman. And a quick story about Linda Carter. When I first, as a kid, got cable television, my first Betamax player, and I started taping movies for Nudity, one of the very first movies I taped was a 1976 drive-in movie called Bobby, Joe, and the Outlaw. And Linda Carter, who, when I taped it, I was watching on Saturday mornings, in this red, white, and blue dominatrix outfit as Wonder Woman. So I taped this movie thinking, I know there's probably nudity, but there's no way Linda Carter, who's a big star now on Wonder Woman, will have done a nude scene. Well, it was one of my first great finds as a perv, or no, as a kid taping these movies, because in the first 33 minutes, Linda Carter is naked like 4 times, capped off by a scene where she's doing mushrooms while skinny dipping with a big Indian chief, and it is
What?
It'll
My kind of girl.
You'll go nuts.
That's that's how I lost my virginity.
Yeah, she's in the movie with she's in the movie with a guy, 70s he was a drive-in star named Marjo Gartner, and there's a couple of sex scenes with him, and then the scene where here you're watching, it's the girl I knew as Wonder Woman. I tape a movie where she's doing mushrooms, skinny dipping, and it's like, oh my God, if Wonder Woman did this, who else is out there? It was one of my inspirations was seeing this. So I'm looking forward to Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in June of 2017, and I know a lot of the guys that come to our website are also.
I'm with you on that, and I just hope that Gal Gadot, her costumer for this movie, gives her such a sweet camel toe like the original Wonder Woman had, because I'm a big fan of the CT. So real or not, I don't know if those are actual pussy lips in Linda Carter's original outfit, but if Gal could rock those, I'll be a fan for life.
Hey, Jimmy and Andrea. Yeah, no, listen, she is beautiful, and I'm kind of psyched. Hopefully, she'll do her first nude scene after Wonder Woman as her career really blows up. But
crossed.
Hey, we talk about every week we have that phone line where people could call in and ask questions.
Yes.
And Maddie, what is the phone number again?
That's 304 Talk Skin.
304 Talk Skin, and we're starting to get some cool questions. So I was wondering, Maddie, if you could just pull one up and hopefully I could answer for someone that was kind enough to call into our talk line.
Yes. I'd like to see more of Jennifer Aniston and Jennifer Hewitt Love. See more skin of them. Thank you.
He's asking Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Jennifer Aniston.
Did he say Jennifer Hewitt Love?
And Jennifer
okay, no,
Love
I know
Hewitt.
who he's asking. Oh, no, that's a great one. Okay, well, first of all, listen, I agree. I want to see more of both of them. Jennifer Aniston, though, I don't know if a lot of people know, she has been nude. She did a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal called The Good Girl a few years back, where at the 25-minute mark she's in a motel room and they're having sex, and it's a pretty passionate sex scene, and you could see Jennifer's 2 friends in that scene. But I think the most famous Jennifer Aniston moment was the breakup with Vince Vaughn. Do you guys remember that one?
I remember that one.
Yeah, where he's playing video games and she's walking down the hall nude. and you see most of her butt. Definitely get the full screen version of that. You can see more butt than than other versions. So the breakup with Vince Vaughn in 2006 was probably the most famous.
What I love about this, and obviously thank you for the call, and if you have a question, call us at 304-TALK-SKIN. But what I love about this is that he just calls it and says, I want to see more Jennifer Aniston, like it's up to you.
Yeah, we all do.
Hey, Skin, if you can get on the phone here, call up Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, no, listen, that's cool. Hey, I'm happy to answer any questions. And, I do this for a living, and I totally get it that a normal person that actually has a life does not know. They don't have the time to maybe look this stuff up or so I'm happy to answer anyone's questions. And by the way, Jennifer Love Hewitt, he mentioned, I got to tell you, I mentioned with Mila Kunis that there's a lot of actresses that, we get asked about, like, boy, they've never been nude. And we do. We get tons of customer service stuff. And Jennifer Love Hewitt, historically, since I've had this website, has always been a popular actress where guys are hopeful that she'll do a nudity. And the only thing I could do for Jennifer Love Hewitt, she did a movie with Jackie Chan called The Tuxedo around 2003. It was literally 12 or 13 years ago. 1 hour, 1 minute, and 40 seconds into that movie, she's wearing a blue dress. She gets pushed into a pool, and you get an underwater nip slip, a rarity, Jimmy, an underwater nip slip. And only because it's someone like Jennifer Love Hewitt did we go to the time and effort to really put this, grab this, get the best quality pic we could, because you can see breast underwater. It's brief. But it's because she wasn't wearing a bra. She gets pushed in, and then underwater they had a camera. So it's an underwater nip slip from Jennifer Love Hewitt. So great question. Boy, surprising they don't leave their names, Maddie. Do we have people leaving their names, or they just leave the question?
It's not required.
Okay, your name is not required. Don't worry about it.
Just leave us.
But that was a great question.
Just leave us your social security number.
You know what, Mr. Skin, though, you and I have learned over the years, and Jimmy's going to learn quickly, too, that a lot of actresses go a long time in their careers and they never get naked. But later in their careers, they get naked, like the Marissa Tomei's and the people like that, the Ellen Mirrens. So hopefully, fingers crossed for Jennifer Love Hewitt, because she has such a petite yet voluptuous body. I would die to see what her boobs look like.
Yeah, well, she did that show, The Client List, on the Lifetime Network, and she was in these, giving massages in these like bustier outfits.
That's right.
It was softcore porn without nudity, basically. So she's getting there, but it just hasn't happened. But yeah, you're right. Marissa Tomei was 42 before we saw her topless, and it's still one of the great nude scenes of all time, and also The Wrestler. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Those are great moments. So yeah, you still can look great in your 40s, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. There's still hope that the best we're going to get isn't an underwater nip slip. But anyway, hey, last but not least, I wanted to just real quick, this is also a incredible week for Blu-ray releases, and I just really quickly wanted to run through this. I know we're pressed for time here, but that movie, Tuesday of this week, all these things are out, and these are big movies people should check out for some awesome nudity. The Girlfriend Experience, that was that movie I talked to you guys about with Riley Keough, Elvis's daughter, which I said was the second best nude scene so far this year. That's out this week. Really good nudity. Manhattan Night was that Yvonne Strahovski, the girl from Chuck, NBC's Chuck. She plays Sarah Walker. That's out Tuesday on Blu-ray, something that we felt was the 10th best nude scene so far this year. And then a couple other kind of interesting ones that I haven't talked about yet. Louder Than Bombs has Rachel Brosnahan nude, and you might know her. She was nominated for an Emmy for playing Rachel Posner on House of Cards, and that was she was the girl I mentioned, that Caitlin Shield, where they had the great lesbian scene. And in this Louder Than Bombs, she's topless after she's with Jesse Eisenberg. Remember him from the Facebook movie. Really hot, and she's nude. And then another thing that's out this week on Blu-ray, the second season of The Nick. And if you haven't seen this, it's a really cool show about the turn of the century, the doctors working at a hospital in New York. And it's really almost medieval, the way they used to, do operations and everything. But kind of a cool show. And Emily Kinney, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, she played Beth Green on The Walking Dead. She also got naked on Masters of Sex, but she has some really nice skin moments on season 2 of The Nick. And there's a cool moment where they watch a black and white stag movie, and at the turn of the century, it was obviously a big deal. The guys are like smoking cigars, and that's how it used to be before video and DVD. How you used to have to watch. I remember as a kid,
projection.
We had to put a white sheet on the wall and watch an 8mm. So that was our.
That's an Amish porn.
Yeah, Amish porn, right? Yeah, but I'll tell you, it's a good show for Nudity, and Emily Kinney. We're big fans of. I know a lot of people know her from Walking Dead. That's out this week. A movie called High Rise with Sienna Miller is out this week. She's been nude in 9 movies, so it's not that I don't want her to continue, but she has a sex scene at the hour and 16 minutes of this movie with Tom Huddleston that's really sexy. They're out on a veranda, and she's we're big fans of her, so that's out this week. And then and I'm trying to get to all this quickly so we don't go too long on this podcast, but anyway, it's a really, really good week, not only for television nudity, but also for Blu-ray, which 2 of the movies that are out on Blu-ray made our top 10 nude scenes of the year. So just a great week for celebrity nudity, and as you guys can imagine, very busy times here at the Mr. Skin office.
And I have to say, the caliber of nudity that we've discussed on today's show is absolutely A+, grade A, 2 thumbs up.
See that? Well, it was a great week for nudity and a great week for podcasting.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, next week, real quick, Jimmy, is next week is the Olympics opening ceremonies are next week. So we're gonna have fun with this because I got some really cool Olympic type nudity to talk about. I'll kind of be doing an Olympic special for you guys, including the most anticipated nude scene of 2016, and it has an Olympic angle to it. I didn't bring it up today because it has an Olympic angle. And let me put it to you this way. We've had, in the last 2 months, we've had 8,000 customer service requests for different things. 2,000 of them were for this nude scene, which I'll be talking about next week in our Olympic special in honor of the 2016.
The Rio Olympics. Are you going to rank the sexiest Zika mosquito?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. I'm going to find nude scenes where girls are getting bit by mosquitoes or something. I'll come up with something.
For those of you anthropologists listening to the show.
But
couple of quick things we have to remind our listeners, Skin. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes. Give us a damn good rating, please. You know what I'm saying, Andrea? We need like a 4 or 5 star rating, right?
You know what? If we get enough 4 and 5 star ratings, you know what? I'll make it 5. I will do one of my infamous wub-wubs on the podcast where I take my boobs out and I smack my titties against the microphone as hard as I can. And I will do that guaranteed if we get a bunch of 5 stars.
Yeah, which reminds me, wasn't that in my contract, Skin? I haven't had a
I don't want a wub from you.
You're like the Great Pumpkin with Charlie Brown.
From you. Yeah.
The wub hasn't flown over yet. Also, as a reminder, leave us a voicemail at 304-TALK-SKIN. We'd love to discuss you and your ideas on the podcast. So any questions or comments you may have. And you can always visit us at the Safe for Work, MrSkinPodcast.com. And if you log on right now, you'll find links to all the great stuff we talked about today. So some of those boobs and things that Andrea was describing, you can actually see them with your eyes now. I don't know if they're interested in seeing them now because most of them finished based on the quality of your detail.
Yeah, right. Yet, Jimmy, I was thinking for next week for the Olympic show that I'm going to do, I'll do my girls with small boobs. We'll call them mosquito bite boobs. We'll do that for next week.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Sold. I'll be there. I had fun, everybody.
Me too.
No, I did too. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay.
Time flies when you're talking to me.
That's so funny. So you said something about my fly, and I was like, yeah, that happened too. That happened twice. Not proud. Have a great day, everybody.
MrSkin.com. Fast forwarding to the good parts.